It brings me true joy to be able to tell you today that people continue to leave Elon Musk's X. That's the platform formerly known as Twitter. They're still calling it X, if you can believe that. And they're trying out new alternatives. And particularly in this environment where X is going to be a major node of mis and disinformation during the forthcoming Trump term, as the future of TikTok is sort of uncertain, it really is a time when some kind of new platform is necessary. And I'm glad that so far the big winner is Blue Sky, which has now surpassed 25 million users. We've been seeing this drift for months now. We know that one of the critical sort of determinants of the degree to which the Trump administration is going to be able to circulate mis and disinformation is going to be the size of the user base on Truth Central and on X, which have become major nodes of the dissemination of that stuff. Now, remember that misinformation is stuff that's just wrong. Disinformation is deliberately wrong in the sense that it intends to mislead or deceive or get people to believe something that isn't true. The mis and disinformation depends on an echo chamber signal boosting it. We've talked before about how Fox News' power is not necessarily in the raw audience size. A couple million people watching any one show in a country of 340 million, that doesn't seem that significant, and in a sense it's not. But there is an agenda-setting power. And Twitter, particularly when it was Twitter and to some degree as X, has some agenda-setting power where when Republican politicians and MAGA acolytes make news on the platform, it's still big enough that it starts to enter corporate media reporting and sort of like enter the water cooler sort of discussion. At the weaker that X becomes and the weaker that Truth Social becomes, the more difficult it's going to be to use those platforms to spread the disinformation. So the algorithmic meddling, the bizarre moderation, and the sort of right-wing takeover of the algorithmic For You page on X continue to push people away. The Guardian and TechCrunch show that the exodus is relatively steady. Blue Sky surged not long ago with millions of new users who were basically just done with X's sudden shift and the extremist leaning feeds. I'm certainly one of them. And X is being left behind as basically a more successful version of Truth Social and not much else. All the top people who I would go to see their commentary on X, they're now on Blue Sky. This is called a network effect. As the people I follow shift from X to Blue Sky, I do the same, since the utility of X to me diminishes and the experience on Blue Sky is so much better. Now, I want to explain a little bit about the underpinnings of this. The user experience on X, at least for a lot of us, has gone from slightly chaotic to completely unbearable. The For You feed is forcibly promoted right-wing influencers, sensationalists, conspiracy theorists, and clickbait-ridden hot takes. That's all that you really find in there. Legitimate conversations, to the extent that they're still happening on X, and I don't really know that they are, they're getting buried under an avalanche of harassment and trolling behavior that enforcement isn't addressing. Occasionally, I will report an anti-Semitic threat on X, sort of like when someone says, "I'll kill you, Jew fag," or something like that. It's the sort of thing I get on X all the time. And I'll report it. And sometimes not even 15 minutes later, I'll get a message saying, "Hey, we investigated the message you reported. We found it didn't violate our terms and conditions." If that doesn't, I don't know what does. So there's that aspect of it. You're being force-fed content you never asked for, and that's impossible to ignore, because no matter how much you scroll, you get promoted an Alex Jones video or Elon's tweets or Tucker Carlson's latest video. I've moved a lot of my day-to-day social engagement to Blue Sky. I still have my X account. It's not like I wiped it, but my posting is minimal. One of the reasons I'm keeping it open, some people have written and said, "David, why don't you just close the account?" My tweets over the last however many years I've been on there, we have them and other sites have them embedded in so many different places. Like Raw Story will cover that I tweeted something. If I delete my account, it breaks the article. It doesn't seem to really be any upside, but hilariously, over the last few months, my Twitter following is down 6,000 and my Blue Sky following is up 220,000. So I think for folks like us who consume this type of media with our political sensibilities, the Blue Sky experience is almost nostalgic. No ads for now, no algorithmic brain hacking feeds. I open the app and I get a simple chronological timeline of the people I follow. If I want to see new stuff, the Discover tab is clearly marked, and I'm actually finding stuff tailored to me rather than just the top 50 right-wing nuts on Twitter, which is what gets forced on you with the X for You page. And one of the things that I think is working well on Blue Sky is the moderation. When an extremist troll showed up a while back, think along the lines of, Andrew Tate's fleeting experiment. Whoops, I'm not mispronouncing names anymore. That's Andrew Tate. He wasn't shielded. He wasn't coddled. The platform acted swiftly because the content violated terms and conditions. And so the message is clear, which is personal attacks, targeted harassment, just not going to be tolerated. Of course, conservatives, liberals, everyone in between is welcome there. But the endless bile that goes unaddressed on X isn't happening. So Blue Sky has now surpassed 25 million users, and it keeps growing. Meanwhile, Twitter has been and is projected to keep losing users throughout 2025. Why is this so important? Well, there's a lot of different reasons. I told you one up front, which is the ability to spread mis and disinformation depends on the size of the platform. If X shrinks, the ability to use it to spread disinformation declines. Number two, especially with the TikTok ban on the table, TikTok, one of the platforms where the progressive message is actually getting out to a degree that's roughly on par with the right-wing message. It's important to have platforms that are functional and working, at least to a degree. And the reality is that Threads really didn't end up being what it was chalked up to be. Part of it is because Threads, owned by Meta, same company that owns Facebook, has proactively decided we're not really going to promote political content. And that immediately kneecaps its ability to be a platform. We're not asking for it to be a biased left-wing platform. We're just saying, don't deprioritize the content. So that's all good. You can follow me on Blue Sky, davidpakman.com/Blue Sky. And you know what? If it ends up failing, if it ends up changing its approach, I will let you know. And you will certainly hear it from me. Sometimes the people we are closest to are the toughest to shop for. Luckily, there's a gift everyone on your list will love. It is the Aura digital picture frame. I gave one to my mom, preloaded it with pictures of the baby and some of me, right? I mean, please, you hook it up and it's already got pictures on it. You can select pictures from your phone and upload them remotely to any picture frame. Named #1 by Wirecutter, Aura frames make it really easy to share an unlimited number of photos and videos from your phone to the frame. When you give it as a gift, you can personalize it, preload it with a message and photos using the Aura app. I don't live near my parents, so the fact that I could preload these pictures onto the frame just makes it a really great long-distance gift as well. Aura Frames is a gift so special, they'll use it every day. Save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames by using the promo code PAKMAN at checkout. The link is in the description.